Yo, what's up guys? Bruno here, about to bring you a video about spreading your lead. So when you win in the top lane, you've got the tower early, what do you do next? How do you help the team get ahead as well? Let's talk about it. So in this game, we're going to we're just going to skip actually. We're just going to go ahead and skip the laning phase basically. I'll talk about it a little bit, but there's no real point. So I got a solo kill here, so this is how the lead kind of starts, and then we get a gank from Viego as well. So that's another kill on the Darius. This allows for them to get a little bit of prio, grab the dragon, and then I've got this nice little lead where I'm keeping a freeze going. I've got a lead, and Darius is kind of just screwed already. So we got a nice little 700 gold lead, and we're going to keep that going. So another gank from Viego here, another kill. So now, obviously, in these situations, sometimes you're going to get ahead by yourself. Sometimes you're going to get help from the jungler. It all kind of depends. Regardless, when you have a lead, it doesn't matter how you got the lead. You just got to be able to help your team, help them get ahead as well. So here we go. We're going to get the tower really early, and this is when we're going to start talking about things. So we got the tower, and now it is 12 minutes into the game. Top tower is gone, and we already have a 2,500 gold lead on Darius at the 12-minute mark. I mean, this is almost an entire item. So we basically want to keep this guy out of the game just forever. Basically forever. The guy's 0-3-0. This is the concept now that we're looking at. Now that the game is 12 minutes in, the tower is already gone, and I want to keep Darius out of the game. So basically in this situation, now that we have 12 minutes and we are ahead, we still want to catch this wave. We still don't want to allow the Darius to get any type of gold from tower plates. We don't want to allow him to get free XP and free CS. So ideally, we're going to continue to go back to the top lane here. We want to slam this wave in, and then after we're getting this wave slammed in, and now keep in mind, we need this wave to actually hit the tower. We need the wave to actually hit the tower so that he doesn't get the opportunity to freeze it, because then technically he could permanently freeze it. At this point, now that the tower's gone, we should definitely be switching to blue wards. Ideally, we want to put wards here, here, just on the wolves, something like that, so we can see if somebody's rotating to stop us. Ideally, we're going to push this in, have it hit the tower, and then this is where we can look to make plays roaming through the jungle, that we put blue wards in, that we have vision in, that we know nobody's there. So we can either grab the Gromp, we can grab the blue buff, we can grab Raptors, we can set up priority to help for Rift Herald, or we can even roam towards mid lane. So we could look for some sort of mid lane dive. We could look to just fix mid lane and have this wave shoved back in. There's a lot of options that we have, but we're starting from the top. We're starting from the wave or the lane that we won. We're starting from top lane, and we want to build our lead from top lane and build it down to bot lane. And this is like a really good game for us to actually see that happen in real time. So you'll notice right off spawn, we just go right back to it. Our team is fighting, but the fight is just kind of going to be over if we go there anyways, and I really don't want to allow this guy back into the game, so I'm kind of just going to ignore this. The fight is over, they all back off, and they all go back to their lane. So us showing up there would have just been late anyways, so it wouldn't have been worth it. So we're back up here. We're going to actually take this wave. We're going to slam this wave in. Right? And now we're going to look for ways where we can start. I've not switched to blue wards yet, but I do still put a ward next to me. I knew that everybody was down at the dragon fighting anyways. So I want to slam this in, and now we're looking for our plays to continue building our lead while taking away any gold that we possibly can from the enemy. So when I take jungle camps, if I ever get the opportunity to take jungle camps, not only am I getting gold, but I'm also taking gold away from enemy jungler or top laner that might want to take it as well. So it's just something to think about while you're doing it, is that not only are you getting the 100 gold for that camp, but you're taking away 100 gold from the enemy as well. So it's like a net 200 gain for your team essentially. So now in this situation, you'll notice that I have slammed the wave. There's no reason for me to be here. There's a wave that's right here, and there's a wave that's on its way as well. Every time that I'm able to slam the wave into the tower on Darius here, I'm giving myself about a 60 to 90 second timer to actually make any type of play, getting jungle camps, roaming towards mid, helping with Rift Herald, going to the dragon. It's giving me this window of opportunity to actually help my team out and further their lead as well. So here I am. I know that Cassiopeia is going bot lane to try and help. It looks like they're going for a dive. But that means that if I leave this here, if I just don't respond to this at all, and I just slam this wave and then recall because I can't get the tower, I can't kill Darius under the tower, I'm wasting so much time. And I'm allowing this Vladimir to get so many resources. This whole wave, and then he's going to grab tower plates as well. And he's kind of a force right now. He's 4-0. So we kind of want to put some pressure on him now. We've won top lane. Now we need to find a way to win mid lane. So I'm walking over to mid lane. I'm looking to see if he's going to make any type of mistake where I can get a kill. I don't really like this play too much, so I walk away. But this is where it gets really good. So he's going to go ahead and chase me, but he's going to use his ghost. He's going to use his ultimate, and he's going to use flash. He's going to use everything that he has here, and he does not successfully get the kill. I know that I'm very strong. The thing is, it might not look like I am because I'm 1-1-3, and he's 4-0. But if you check the gold, because we did get first tower, we're sitting on 300 more gold than him, and he's sitting on 1,400. So we've got about 1,000, 1,200 more gold spent than him at this moment. We're actually a lot stronger than he is. So I'm able to get away with a play like that, even with low mana and lower HP than he has. I'm able to force him out and make him feel a little uncomfy. So now he's not able to get these tower plates anymore. So he's just going to shove this wave and walk away. But not only does my roam mid help Cassiopeia, it helps our team in general because it takes away his flash and ghost. And it also gives us mid lane priority so that we're able to get the dragon again. Because now he has to reset. He doesn't have HP, he doesn't have sums, he doesn't have ultimate, he can't do anything. But also, I'm still playing off my timer here where I can reset. We got one more wave coming, and it's going to catch around this area, and I'll be able to make it back to lane and not miss anything. So I'm keeping my lead. I'm keeping Darius out of the game. Darius is doing whatever I want him to do, which is to push this wave back to me so I can catch it and get more gold. But now I'm starting to take my lead and affect other lanes. So now we have gotten priority by pushing Vladimir out of the lane, and now I can recall and just get right back to top lane. Right back to top lane and miss nothing. I missed two minions. I missed 2 minions there, and I got the third for the XP. So now, same concept. I'm going to push this in, and then I'm going to look to help mid lane again. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this until mid lane is winning. I'm going to keep doing it. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to push. Put a ward down there. And now I'm going to take jungle camps. I'm going to continuously take away gold from Kayn. So I'm full health. Even if Kayn shows up, he can't kill me. I can just walk away. So blue buff is here. I want to take that. Nice. Thank you. Get us. And now that I'm taking jungle camps, Viego feels comfortable because we just saw Kayn in the mid lane as well. Once again, we've got top lane prio. Another big objective is being taken by our team because of the priority that we have from winning our lane as hard as we did. So we want this wave to hit. We never want to really leave the wave and not have it hit. So we grab this, but then we're a little bit low, and he went ahead and used his Q on the wave, so we know it's going to push back. So I have now taken 2 camps, we got Rift Herald, and now I can reset. And what this leads to is it leads to us actually turning mid lane around. So Viego does a good job of waiting until Cass is here so that they can both get gold for this. So the Rift Herald is taken, and the lead that Vladimir once had is now gone. So now Cassiopeia actually has more gold than Vladimir does. But notice how Vlad is still dealing with the fact that he doesn't have flash. If he was able to make a play in the mid lane there against Viego, if he had flash, he probably could have got a kill. But since he doesn't have it, he's not really able to do too much, right? He kind of just loses this and then he has to back away. But if he had flash, he might have been able to make a nice play. He might have been able to go back in after this since he has ulti going and do something, but maybe not because Cass is there. But regardless, he's got a lot less agency because he did not have those summoners because we blew them in the mid lane earlier. So now this tower gets taken, and now mid lane is winning. And obviously, we're stealing from Kayn left and right, so which is inherently making Kayn lose as well. So now at this point, you'll see that we have top lane 1, we have jungle 1, we have mid lane 1. But we still have an issue, right? Bot lane is not 1. Seraphine and Yuumi have more gold than Zeri and Annie. So we need to work our way down to the next play. And also, it's the concept of the towers as well. I mean, when we look at it, it's almost like lines of defense. So you got all these 3 towers and they line up. You got all these 3 towers and they line up. And you got all these towers in the base and they line up, right? So these are all waves of defense. So I've gotten the top tier 1 tower. We got the mid tier 1 tower, but we need this tower. Once we get this tower, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities. So we have these 3. If we're able to knock all 3, well, we just opened up this entire part of the map. So now we're a little bit more comfortable being able to walk through the jungle. We don't have to worry about getting flanked too much, anything like that. But imagine what happens a lot of the time. Something that I see a lot is somebody says, well, I always win my lane, but I just can't win the game. And what happens is when I see these games, a lot of the times they are winning their lane, but then they're taking this tower, and then they're taking this tower, and then they're trying to push through all the way to the base with all of these towers still up. There is still tier 2 mid, tier 1 mid, tier 1 bot, tier 2 bot. Just because you've grabbed the 2 towers up here does not mean that you can push towards the base. This just makes it a lot easier for enemy to respond to you. If the towers are still available in mid lane, then this Vladimir can just walk through jungle and then respond to you and flank you when you're trying to push this tower and you're pushed all the way up here. Kayn has a really easy time just walking through walls and flanking for you. Bot lane needs a reset. So support is like, hey, I'll be right back, bot lane. I'm going to go kill this Fiora that's pushing the tower. So you're not spreading your lead. And this isn't older versions of League of Legends and prior seasons and so on and so forth. 1v9 was a lot more applicable. It was something that you could do. You could go 10-0 and you could go into their base and 1v5 their team, and you could do that. But not anymore. There's these new champions that have been released. The way the game is played now, there's a lot more damage in the game. There's a lot more crowd control, a lot more CC. And all it takes is just one mistake, and you just gave 1,000. And bounties, by the way. And bounties are added to the game as well. So one mistake and you just gave the enemy team 1,000 gold. Guess what? Depends on what person gets it, but they might be right back into the game because of that. So you got to be really careful. Your job is not your job is just to win your lane, which you did. You got this tower. You don't need to get this tower unless they're just giving it up for free. But once you get that 2-tier, you really need to start working your way and helping the team. Now, ideally, I'm just taking the first one and I'm looking to help my team. But it's something you got to really think about. Like, you might be winning your lane, but this is still a team game. There's still 4 other people on your team, and when you have a lead, you can start to slowly build your lead onto others and make sure that they're all ahead of their counterparts as well. So obviously, now that we talked about it, the next play would be to help bot lane, right? So all of us have more gold than our counterparts. We have now we started with top lane and we built down. We started from top lane and then we helped with the jungle, and then now we help with mid lane. And so now we've got all 3 of those lanes winning. We've got one more lane to help here, but also while we're helping these lanes, we still need to make sure that we're winning ours and that we're still being a threat, causing pressure, and keeping our counterpart out of the game by making him constantly respond to us. And if we ever get to the point where we're able to dive him out of the tower, then absolutely. There's going to be a few times where you're going to be so ahead, or just depending on who the enemy is, where you can actually dive him. Darius, on the other hand, a little bit harder to dive, even when he is this far behind. So I kind of just leave him. I just want to pull pressure and then leave him. Because you can't leave a Fiora on your 2-tier tower because she can take in, 8, 9, 10 seconds. So somebody always has to respond to me. So once again, I'm pushing this. I wanted to get the tower, but unfortunately he shows up again, right? Now we're all hovering because, we might be able to get a kill if he makes some sort of mistake. Now in this situation, I'm just going to push it again, make sure it slams into the tower, and then reset. Now look where everybody goes off spawn here, because everybody knows. And now this is something that's a little bit different. Obviously, this is a Masters game, so it's a little bit different. And you don't see it as much in silver, gold, and stuff like that, which is unfortunate, right? Where at least when you get into the higher elos, people typically have the right idea, quote unquote, the right idea, macro-wise, on what the next play is. So you'll actually notice that our whole team is actually going to rotate the bot lane here. Now, the only reason I bring that up is because in silver and gold games, you might not get that luxury of having your team being on the same page as you and wanting to make the correct macro play to carry on your lead, spread your lead, and help your teammates get ahead of their counterparts as well. But it's better for you to respond, even if you're just by yourself, than for you to just leave it alone entirely. Because what happens is when that lane is losing, is they slowly lose more and more, and that 500 gold lead turns to 1,000, turns to 1,500, turns to 2,000, and then things get out of control, right? So it's better for you to make the right play and to roam bot on this. When you have this see, Darius responds up here. We go, what do we have? 60 to 90 second opportunity window. So we respawn and we have our opportunity window to get down here and make a play on the bot lane. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Even without teleport. Now with teleport, it makes it a lot easier to get around the map, but you don't need it. As long as you're paying attention to what's going on, it's going to be okay, even without it. So you'll notice everybody comes on down. And like I said, it's better for you to make the play even if nobody else does. So this is kind of cool. So we'll see Cassiopeia, she shoves the wave, and then she works her way towards bot lane. We see that Viego works his way down bot lane. And now look at this. We've got 5 people here. We've got 5 people here. But also, typically, in the higher elos, enemy is typically ready for the play that you're going to make as well. That's why you see Kayn hovering. Kayn is here. Kayn knows that the next play is to try and kill bot lane. That's kind of like the last person keeping their team alive is Seraphine and Yuumi. So we're all down here. And you know what's crazy? I think we actually lose this. But let me see. Pretty sure we lose this, but we're doing the right macro play. I mean, we are trying to get our bot lane ahead now. And unfortunately, it ends up just being a trade. But now, this is something to think about. Watch this. Notice how we pulled pressure from Darius. We made him respond. Look at this. We're all about to fight in the bot lane and go for this play. This is what I want my opponent to do when I have a lead. I want him to play off me. This guy has to roam all the way down to bot lane to even be a part of the fight. And by the time he gets here, guess what? Fight's over, so now he has to make some sort of risky play, and he's 0-3-0 with no gold, so he tries to dive the Cass and dies. And this is exactly what we're going to do. We control the tempo. When you have the lead, you control the tempo. You make your opponent do whatever you want them to do. So keeping him under this tower, and then once he sees the fight breaking out, he has to make a decision. He's like, oh gosh. He's like, do I push this and try to get this tower, or do I go help them? Right? He has to make this decision, and he decided to walk all the way down. I mean, realistically, the better play at this point is he needs to get back in the game. The better play is to get this objective gold and be able to try and get back into the game that way. But notice how we would have already been on our way back anyways if he went for that. So we're just kind of, our macro is really good. We're managing our waves really well, and we're managing our lead, and we're just trying to carry on our lead and put it into the bot lane now. So the bot lane is really the next one. So even off spawn, once again, we traded that skirmish 3 for 3. I'm on my way down because Dragon's up. So It's a plan B situation. So we couldn't win the 5v4 in the bot lane, unfortunately. Well, I mean, we tied it. We went 3-3, but we didn't win it. We didn't win it. So what's the next play? Dragon Soul. Dragon Soul is our next win con. So now I need to use my gold lead to help our team in a different way, and that's just to be there for objectives. So let's say you don't have teleport. This would be the concept of like split pushing and turning it into you being there for the dragon while enemy cannot. So you would want to reset with about a minute and a half left on the timer. A minute 30, you respawn and we go straight to top lane, right? And we push this into the tier 2 tower. So we go all the way through, we push it through. And by the time we get to this tower, it's going to be about 30 seconds on dragon. Now, if nobody is here, if nobody has responded to you, this is where the panic sets in for enemy team. Dragon's still not going to spawn for 30 seconds. They're going to start spam pinging and saying, hey, somebody needs to respond to this Fiora. Especially this late into the game when I've got 2 items, I can take towers very quickly. So if nobody responds to me, then I'm able to take this tower and I can get the next one. So here's the huge threat. I'm set up at enemy tower with 30 seconds left because I reset. So it's something to make a mental note of. I got a minute 30 on dragon. Let me reset. Let me go spin my gold and let me go push this top lane out. Or opposite side of objective. This could be the same thing for Baron, which we'll actually see that later into this game as well. We want to push this out and we want to have it hit the tower. Now, if somebody responds to us, that means that we can just walk through, right through mid lane, right to the fight. And we can beat our opponent there because they have to catch this wave and then follow behind us. That's going to be the ideal situation. Now, situation number 2, enemy gets really frantic and goes for a forced play and trades it or loses it. Now, this gives us enough time if it's a trade, like 2 for 2, where we can actually take tower and then rotate anyways. Or we can make the decision to keep pushing. Now, if they decided to just have a little standoff and let me split, there's nothing wrong at all with me staying on the split here when we're up 2 dragons. Because I can grab this tower and the next tower within about 20-30 seconds as the dragon is spawning if nobody responds to me. So, by you setting yourself up and resetting at a minute 30 and you have a lead over enemy laner, you can make a play like this and somebody always has to respond to you. And if they don't, well then you get another 800 gold from this tower and then another 500 or 600 from that one, and your lead grows even more. So, in this situation, we just go straight to it because the tower or the dragon was already up, and we get this dragon, and now we are sitting at 3 dragons and waiting to play for soul point. So you'll notice that we go straight to bot lane because now it's time for me to split and win the bot lane. We take the dragon, we just instantly walk bot lane. Baron is up. I'm doing the same thing. I don't have teleport. I just want to take this tower and then go for the next one, try to pull pressure so that we can get it. So taking this, using my lead to now take the bot lane tower as well. So now we've gotten all 3. We've just opened up a whole wall of defense here. This is really big for us. And so we go bot lane, and we're expecting a response. And if we don't get one, we can take tower really quickly. Kayn responds to us. And I'm thinking about getting Krugs, and I'm like, never mind, right? And then he comes back to stop my recall, which is huge. Which is where I kind of like just play with it a little bit. Don't act too panicked or anything. Just walk away. Don't use your Q. Kind of keep myself on vision. Because what's going on here, once we see Vlad, you'll notice that I see Vlad down here as well. I'm pinging, get the Baron, right here. Question mark. I'm question marking that there's 2 here. Why is there 2 here? We should be getting Baron, right? And then I ping question mark. I ping the Baron twice. These guys are way ahead of me. They already see it. They already got the Baron. So we get Baron there. And this is just huge. So now we used our lead again, where we were able to push bot lane right after the dragon. These guys came down to us. Darius gets picked off. Because he is so weak. I mean, he's down. Oh my lord, he's down to 3,300 gold from me right now, and I mean 6,000 gold. He has no gold compared to anybody in the game, realistically. And that's just because we've set up the tempo and we've forced him to play the game that we want him to play, which is just amazing for us. So once again, now that we have Baron, we're still doing the same thing. I'm going to go catch the wave after Baron, whichever one's going to make me the most gold. This one's already pushing, so this one's going to be the easiest one to take. I'm very strong right now. I can just go ahead, push, pull pressure again. And then somebody has to respond to me. And then I can look for some sort of roam through the jungle or look for like a pick and play the bushes. If somebody walks into me on the bushes, it's easy for me to get a kill. So kind of just chilling. You'll notice that me and Viego have the same mindset here. We're both just kind of waiting. Is this guy going to misstep and try to rotate through jungle? Because notice now that we opened up this line of defense, once we got all 3 towers, it's a lot more comfortable for us to just sit here. Now we can just sit here and wait for somebody to rotate through jungle. Vladimir wants to walk through to mid lane to help his mid laner, and then Viego and Fiora just take the kill. So this is what's so huge about taking all the towers one by one, is that it allows for us to actually play within the enemy jungle. So we're looking for this pick. I'm pretty sure we don't get it, but it's okay, because we just walk away, and that's fine. I think Viego, yeah, Viego actually does die, but that's all right. we just walk away. And like the same thing is happening on the other side of the map where Cassiopeia is on the same page. She's also doing a little bit of splitting, pulling pressure, taking jungle camps. So she's on the same page as well. So even though this game is 11-14, this was one of those games where everybody was on the same page. Macro-wise, we all knew what the right play was to do. So even at 11-14 in kills, we are still up 6k gold. This game is very hard for enemy because of how well we played for the first 15-20 minutes of the game, just in a macro sense. So I'm using that same idea where I'm like just sitting in a bush. Fiora, when you play Fiora, seriously, and this video goes more for just Fiora, obviously. Anybody can do this, any top laner. Just mobile ones like Riven, Camille, Fiora, Jax, like they're going to have a little bit better roaming like this. It's going to be a little bit faster because they can shave off like 7, 8, 9 seconds from the roams. But ideally, any top laner can pull off what we're doing. Any top laner can pull off what we're doing. It's just the concept of spreading your lead is what we're talking about. So in this situation, Fiora, this is more of a Fiora-based tip, but playing like an assassin when you're ahead on Fiora is really good. This guy goes for this, and I'm just able to sit in the bush, wait for him to finish the wolves, then go ahead and get the kill, and then we get the pick. And now, with Dragon coming up in a minute, we're about to reset. We're going to get another kill here, actually, on Darius, who's caught out again. Caught out again. Love to see it. Really love to see it. We get all our gold. We reset, and now we play for soul. And notice how Viego is doing the same thing that I was talking about earlier, right? He's shoving this wave. Even though Dragon's coming up, he was shoving it early. He wants this to be shoved at about 30 seconds and start working his way towards Dragon. We're at 28 seconds right now, so he's a little bit late, but that's okay. He's going to reset and head straight to Dragon. Everybody's resetting, getting ready for the Dragon fight that's coming up in 20 seconds. Me and Cassiopeia are already here, setting up vision. And this is basically the win con. So the win con here is getting this Dragon. So we're all down here. We're just pulling pressure. Now we've got vision on 4. We know that Vlad just finished that wave, and we have an advantage. So this is where we would look to make a play because we pulled Viego away. Viego pulled Vlad away so that he was responding to this. He was catching this wave. Now he's late. So it's not only me who's doing this as well, but there's other people that are doing the same concept. So now he has been pulled out of the fight, and we're able to go for this 4v5. So we're going to try to force this because we know that Vlad's not here yet. So we're going to try to force this, and then we'll go for the Dragon. Now we have Soul, and the game is essentially just over. Yeah, the game is just over now. But from a very simple standpoint, this is how we kind of took our lead, and we just spread it to everybody else until everyone was winning. Now, you know, the craziest thing is we lost the bot lane fight. We lost the bot lane fight, and if you notice for the rest of this game, we kind of didn't go for it anymore, right? We went to plan B. There's always another plan. Just because the first plan fails does not mean there isn't another way to make it work. So once we lost that bot lane fight, what did we do? We went for the Dragon, which was our 3rd Dragon, which sets us up for Dragon Soul, and that is our brand new win con. Even at this point in the game, at 27 minutes, Seraphine still has more gold than Zeri. So Zeri, our bot lane lost, unfortunately. They just did. They just did, and they lost throughout the game. And that's fine, though, because we used our leads to get objectives. At least the top half of the map won, and we were a big part of winning top lane, jungle, and middle. And we tried to help with bot lane, and we just were unable to do so. So, even with a losing bot lane, still able to make it work. So, in this play, now that we have Soul, we really just want to help out and go for Dragon here. And now this is just more of an interesting fight where I'm talking, this is another Fiora-based tip where I'm more playing this fight like an assassin. I'm waiting for some damage and some health bars to go away. I'm just kind of staying off to the side, waiting for that cleanup. You see that our team gets a little bit of damage out, and then boom, this is green light where we have Darius going in like this, and then Vlad doesn't have a red bar, so I got a little bit of time. I can just flash in, grab this double kill, ulti on Vlad, and then we end the game, right? So boom, boom. Go back to Vlad, ult him, and then just end the game. There we go. And that's the game over. And so I think this is a really good example of how you can win your lane, spread your lead, and not throw it away. So there was a little bit of tips on why it happens, why you are throwing when you have such a lead. The lines of defense are very important, and how you should be moving around the map. So overall, you know, this is a great video, in my opinion, for helping you guys who are winning your lanes really hard but still losing games. Now, inherently, you're going to win more games if you play well. If you play well and you make the proper plays macro-wise, you should just win more games than you lose overall. As long as you're performing and you're being efficient, you're helping your team out, spreading your lead to them, and like sometimes as a top laner, you're going to have to win jungle and mid and bot lane as well. with your lead. Sometimes that's just the way it is. And when you start getting used to that and start getting used to controlling enemy counterpart, keeping them where you want them to be, roaming around the map, winning mid lane with your lead, winning bot lane with your lead, winning jungle with your lead, grabbing priority for those big objectives, that's when you're going to see that climb start to take off. And that is the video, guys. I hope that it helps you with spreading your lead to your team and winning your games. I wish you guys the best of luck in your ranked games, obviously. Hope you guys all reach your goals in Season 13. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out. Love ya. Bye-bye.